Today we're going to start semester 3. Okay, now we already finished 2 sem. So semester 1, semester 2. Now semester 3 is going to be equally hectic. We have to rush to finish off the syllabus. Syllabus wise, there is okay. If we go straight to syllabus, so if you look at the syllabus, let's just run down the syllabus. Okay, so this is syllabus for semester 3. So actually, by right, taxonomy is one chapter on its own, and biodiversity is another chapter. All the different types of living organisms that we have in this world, we organize them. That is what you learn under taxonomy. Under taxonomy, you learn how to organize information about living organism systematically. Because there's too many living organisms, there is too much information. If you go to a shop, for example, if you go to a shop and you want to buy something, the storeroom, everything jumbled up. There is no organization, no shirts one place, all jumbled up. If you want to find a certain type of shirt, it's hard to find. You practically cannot find because everything, thrown all over the place. But if you go to the storeroom, one side we have the shirt, one side we have the pants, another side we have other things. If all organized, and in one side we have shirt according to size. So this is maybe according to design. So that's when you go to supermarket, that's what happens. Everything is organized. So if you want to find a certain product, you just go to that place, you find it, and you can go. Makes everyone lives easy. So the products are organized systematically. That is the same thing we want to do with biology also. All the information that we have about living organisms, there's too much information. If you can organize it systematically, it makes it easier for scientists. This is not for Orambia, it's not for laymen, it's not for normal people. Scientists, when scientists discuss about a certain living organism, it makes it easier to do discussion if the information about the organism is organized systematically. That's what you learn under taxonomy, the first one. How do we organize information about organisms systematically? That one, taxonomy, not hard, understandable, answerable. By right, taxonomy only has one question. By right, taxonomy ada satu soalan saja. What makes this chapter hard is biodiversity. Because under biodiversity, you need to give characteristic. So if you see on this side, so this is taxonomy. How do you do taxonomy explanation? The next one, diversity of organisms. So this is where the problem is. So you are supposed to describe morphological characteristic of phylum. Under taxonomy, there is something called as phylum. I think it's not mentioned here. There is something called as phylum. And phylum and kingdom. So if you see, we have many different kingdoms: Protoctista, fungi, plantae, animalia, and there should be one more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Plantae, animalia, fungi, Protoctista, prokaryote. The prokaryote already learned in semester 1. So there is 4 different kingdoms. So every one of these kingdoms, Protoctista, fungi, plantae, and animalia, we need to describe the morphological characteristics. So basically, we have to memorize. If it's an animal, animal is the kingdom. Animal is supposed to be the kingdom. The kingdom is animal. It's going to make chapter 1 a bit hard. Memorizing all the characteristics. Memorizing the characteristic of all the kingdom. But you should be, as hard as it is, you shouldn't complain, because in the old syllabus, we have kingdom, we have phylum, we have order. After phylum, we have order. In the previous syllabus, you must also remember the order. Now, up to the information is that much under biodiversity. In the old syllabus, we always tell the students this: forget biodiversity, don't read. You read biodiversity, you're going to forget everything else. And in the old syllabus, 25 chapters at one time. One exam, 25 chapters. You all only have 7 chapters, 7 chapters, 7 chapters. 25 chapters. One of the chapters biodiversity, and the information is just too much. Cannot memorize. So most of the time we tell the students, tengok you punya nasib lah. This chapter don't study. Forget this chapter. Because you start to memorize this chapter, the other 24 chapter you're going to forget. So when they change the syllabus, your syllabus, they have reduced the order. So they have reduced the order. Even the phylum, there used to be many phylum. If I remember correctly, more than 10. So now they have reduced it to only 6. So the information you need to remember is already less, but still is considered a lot. So that is biodiversity, the first chapter. After you learn about different types of organism, we also need to explain why we need to protect the biodiversity, why we need to protect biodiversity, why the biodiversity is important, what are the problems faced by biodiversity, all of these lengthy essay questions. That is chapter 14, taxonomy and biodiversity. Chapter 15 will be ecosystem, should be ecosystem. The chapter 4. Okay, chapter 15 should be ecology. So ecology is should be similar to something that you learn in Form 4. Species, habitat, niche, ecosystem, living, non-living, relationship between organisms. Huge chapter, a lot of explanation needs to be given. It's about how living and non-living interact. How living and living interact. There's a lot of relationship. Prey, predator, mutualism, commensalism, parasitism, many relationship between living organism. There is also relationship between living and non-living. How do organism interact with pH of soil? How does organism interact with oxygen concentration, salt concentration, mineral ion? A lot of explanation. So ecology, most of the explanation is lengthy essay, like 10 marks, 15 marks essay question. Panjang. Every one of the question is long explanation. 15 and 16. 16 will be speciation, selection and speciation. Another huge chapter. What is evolution? What is selection? What is variation? How new species form? Factors affecting speciation. All long essay questions. This is more like, something like language kind of thing, like long, like essay, bahasa Malaysia, maybe pengajian am. You have long essays to write. Something like that. Chapter 14, 15, 16 is long, lengthy essays. Every one of them long, lengthy essays. That is the chapter. Essay kind of chapter. Then we go to chapter 17. The problem for your SAM will be chapter 17. Now, chapter 17, the heading is just inheritance and genetic control. So what they did was, they took 5 chapters. They took 5 chapters. They combined into one chapter. That's what they did. 5 different chapters in the previous syllabus, combine all under one chapter, chapter 17. So chapter 17 alone, because there is so much to explain, because it's 5 chapters, imagine. 7 chapter combined into one. Mutation, population genetic, inheritance, genetic control. There's one more, genetic different chapters. There's around 5 different chapters combined become one chapter. So chapter 17, even my notes also, like previously, my notes used to have 17.1, 17.2, 17.3, 17.4, 0.5, 0.6. I have to divide the notes into 6 notes. That's how huge the chapter is. And this chapter is fully, chapter 17 is fully logical chapter. You should know Mendel 1, Mendel 2, DNA, RNA, all of that will come under this chapter. Mutation, chromosome mutation, gene mutation. What is gene? What is polypeptide? Interesting chapter for me. I like this kind of chapter. So chapter 17 for me, I hate the first three chapters because long essay type of question. But chapter 17 is fully logical. So for me, I love these chapters. This six, as huge as it is, chapter 17, chapter 18, chapter 19 will be logical. So mixture of both. Three chapters will be long essay kind of question. Last three chapters will be logical questions, like maths question. You need to solve some formulas and onwards. Under chapter 17, we have Mendel 1, Mendel 2. Mendel 1, Mendel 2 itself, that's 2 essay. Under that, we also have inheritance that doesn't follow Mendel, non-Mendelian inheritance. After that, we have genetic mapping, linked genes, population genetic, DNA replication, DNA expression. DNA expression is the hardest question in semester 3. Semester 1, light phase of photosynthesis. Light phase of photosynthesis, and also maybe electron transport chain. Semester 1, a hard question. Semester 2, I think maybe the hardest question. I think all okay. Maybe muscle contraction. Maybe muscle contraction was a bit hard. Describing the sarcoma and explaining muscle contraction. Maybe that was hard. But everything else, I think generally okay. Semester 3, the hardest question will be this. What is transcription? What is translation? These two. Transcription and translation. It comes under one sentence, but transcription, translation, like especially translation is really complicated explanation. But we are not finished with the chapter. Ada lagi. Regulation, gene expression, mutation. So chapter 17 is 5 chapters combined into one. What is the reason they did that? I really don't know, but it's 5 separate chapters becomes one. After doing that, chapter 18 and chapter 19, you see how short is chapter 18 and how short is chapter 19. These two chapters, they should have actually combined into one chapter. They are related to one another. When you finish chapter 18, it's like half of chapter 19 already finished. They are related to one another. They should have made this as one chapter combined. They should have made chapter 17 as 2 chapters. Then it will be a bit easier. Now, chapter 17 alone is going to take so much of time for us to finish. So again, we need to do maybe, I think, two double classes, double classes. Out of the 6 months we have, I think 2 months we have to do double classes to make sure we can finish off. Now my problem will be this chapter 17. We can't ask you to read chapter 17 because they are logical chapters. We have to do some diagrams and solve the diagram. So that is that is semester 3. Taxonomy, biodiversity, ecology, speciation, variation and speciation. Inheritance, chapter 17, chapter 18, genetic engineering, chapter 19 is biotechnology. So ada 6 chapter. The last 2 chapters we can finish quickly, but the first 4 chapters, especially chapter 17 is going to take a very long time.